I'll turn it on. All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get started. We are on page 18 in our books and Exodus 33 in our biblical text. Exodus 33. Okay, so far we've went through the intercession of Moses, God's evil tidings to the people in the tent of meeting, but we are actually on question 18. So if someone can reread for us Exodus 33, 7 through 11. Exodus 33, 7 through 11. We'll get started.
Now Moses used to make a tent and pitch it outside the camp this way. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance, while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshipped, each at the entrance to his tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as a man speaks with his friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent.
All right, great. Quite a special relationship between God and Moses. What is meant by face to face in verse 11?
Just like the men standing in front of each other talking.
Okay.
And it was special in the fact that most people didn't speak with God face to face.
And live.
And right, and live. So we have that special.
Okay. Anyone else?
Did you have to hide behind a rock up on the mountain?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to see. Someone read verse 20. Verse 20 of 33.
He said, "You cannot see my face, for no man shall see me."
Rough. Okay, thanks. So face to face in 11 is not face to face like we're saying. Face to face means something else, because later on God is going to tell him you can't see me like that. But what does it mean relationship wise?
Relationship.
Right.
The friendly
Like
The closest, right? That he visited Moses in a way that not even he visited the Levites, not even the high priest. No one in Israel's history, after Moses, except for Jesus, would have even anything close to this relationship. Like this level of intimacy, God visited his tent, not even like with the tabernacle and all of these things, right? He visited him in a different way. And God, when he visited Moses, he didn't want other people disturbed, because remember, the pillar would come up outside of Moses' tent and everyone will come to the front of their tent and wait and worship, no matter how big of the deal is. It's like when you have your parent say to you, "What? I'm talking." Nowadays, kids don't understand that, because kids be pulling, "Mom, mom, mom, dad, 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 mommy, mommy, mommy." But when I was little, I never heard of that, right? Because my mother, father, my grandmother say, if adults are talking, kids should be so, right? You shouldn't be adults talking and kids say, "Hey, that's not what happened. It happened." Yeah, kids go play in the dirt and eat rocks or do whatever kids do, right? They start adult conversations, right? So you have to wait. Sky is falling. You knew I gotta wait until my parent give me eye contact, right? I can't just be running up to the old adult talking about, hey, I want a fruit snack. Time out, right? So these individuals understand that whatever God and Moses had was nothing like they had, right? It was a clear distinction. And this distinction we talked about last week, they amplified it so much that by the time Jesus came, they stopped calling it God's law, but called it the law of who? Moses. Moses gave us this law. That's what they said, right? So they had made it so big. Don't be surprised at that, because when we get to Acts and you had a couple of pillars, Cephas, who we know as Peter, and then you had Paul, you had another pillar, Apollos, right? By the time it got to the Galatians, Paul was writing a letter and people were saying, "Oh, I'm not of just Christ. I'm of Cephas. I'm of Apollo baptized me, right? And you were making a big deal of what minister you went to a revival and he's the one that converted you. And Paul said, was Paul crucified for you? Was Cephas, was Apollos, right? Like, be of Jesus Christ. So we have that. It's natural for people to have that. Even today, you have people that'll go near and far, long and wide for this minister speaking, this song leader speaking, this thing, that thing. And in mega churches, when the church I went to in Atlanta, it got so bad that when the minister wasn't going to be there, even he stopped putting it in advance in the bulletin. Because you know why? People stop, don't come. They say, oh, minister not going to be here this Sunday. I'm going to another church because I only want to hear him preach. That's how idiotic it had become, that people forgot you coming to worship God, forgot about the money that you were supposed to give to your local congregation or whatever responsibilities you had. I don't care about that. I just want to be of brother so-and-so, brother so-and-so. Nothing has changed in thousands of years. People don't want to be just of God. They want to be of somebody. That's why denominationalism appeals to people, because it gives a face to their religion. Oh, look, there's the Pope. There's my pastor. There's my reverend. Where's Jesus in any of those conversations? Oh, Jesus in the sky. I don't know where he is. But my pastor is here. Same exact thing happened today. And it happens in the brotherhood all the time. This is no different. People got to feel like they are a part of something and somebody every day of the week, and as they say, twice on Sundays, all day long. People got to feel like, oh, I'm a part of this, right? Not just of God's people. What did they say after a while? We need a king, because we need to be like everybody else. And then what did Samuel was sad, and God said, what? Don't be sad at that, because they didn't reject you. They me. That's how God feels. That's what I'm saying. Today, people do the same exact thing. Literally every week in the church I went to down south, the guys who made the bulletin print the minister's name, because literally if that name say any other brother that Sunday that was preaching, attendance dropped drastically. Because people say, oh, brother so-and-so not here, I only came to hear him. I'm gonna go somewhere, so I'm gonna stay home. Even when we went a month or so ago to New Haven and we did that workshop, the brother was saying that even that day, someone called and said, hey, remember brother so-and-so was supposed to help with this thing that we had planned? He didn't come. And he said, why? Because the brother said, oh, this guy's in Connecticut doing workshops, so I'm not coming. I'm going to the gym or something else. Even that, it happens all the time that people take their hand off of the plow because they're more concerned with people instead of God Almighty. So God already knows people's hearts. So God set up a special relationship with Moses that he did not replicate with the people, not even with priests, not even with the Levites, that God had a one-on-one relationship with Moses in a way that no one else did. And we see as we read on, which we'll get to later, this concept of that one-on-one relationship kind of grows and grows. Okay, let's read, if we could, 12 through 17, and then someone read 18 through 23. We're still in Exodus 33. Exodus 33, someone read 12 through 17, and then someone read 18 through 23.
And Moses said to the Lord, "Truly thou sayest unto me, bring up these people, and thou hast not kept me man who thou wouldst send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast offered some grace to myself. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in the sight, lead me now that way, and I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation be thankful. And he said, my presence is with thee, and I will with thee this. And he said unto him, if that person go not with me, carry us not offense. And within it be known here that I and my people have found grace in thy sight. It is not meaning that thou go with us, so shall we be separated, hiding the people from all the people that are among the face of the earth. And the Lord said to Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name.
Okay, hold up. Now, verse 19, right? What was Moses concerned about? Not last week's class, 2 weeks ago, right? What did God say he was going to do and not do? Remember?
Destroy the people.
No, after that, because remember, he said he wouldn't destroy them, but instead he was only going to do what unto a certain point, and then they were going to be on their own. He's going to go, he's going to clean out the land, kill all the people for them, but is he going with them? Nope, you guys go, right? Just like parents say, what, you want to be grown, right? So I'm out, I'm going on a date. You clean up, you cook for yourself. No, mom, then the kids crying, what you crying for, right? Because before you wanted to rule the house now, right? God is saying you don't want a God. Remember, you wanted to make God with your own hands. So use your own hands and take care of your own self, right? And then God said, that's all. And people did what when they heard that? Right? They were so upset that God would leave them. So Moses is coming to him in the tent. If any time you don't interrupt God and Moses, it's today, because you hoping that Moses make intercession for you. Please tell God we're sorry. So what does Moses say to God in the first couple of verses 12 and 13? What does Moses say to God?
What he's saying, he told him that he would leave those people, to lead the people, but he did not tell them who he will send with him. He was saying, I know you by name, if you have found favor with me. If you're pleased with me, teach me your ways so that I may know you and continue to find favor with you.
Right. Let me know what's up. Right? Like, at least let me in on the secret. So then I'll be on the same page, and then I could try to help get the people on the same page, right? Like, what happens next? At least tell me what's happening so that me and you can be on the same page. God's response, therefore I pray if I found grace in your sight, verse 13, show me your way that I may know you and I may find grace in your sight. And consider that what? What's the last sentence in 13? Hey, don't forget. This is not my people. This is your people. God has a one sentence response, which is what in 14?
I will please my presence will go with you.
Yeah, that's all. I'll go with you. I'll give you rest. Moses said, okay, time out. Let's get a little bit more specific. If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. Why? For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except if you go with us? So we shall be separate, your people and I, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. So what is Moses saying?
How else would they distinguish between him and the other people if he?
If God
doesn't,
because it's
right.
like, it'll look bad to the neighbors.
Right.
So you need to be with us when we go.
Yes, right. So it's the same as this, right? If you went to college and you graduated, and your college said, hey, you know what? We actually ran out of paper, so we don't have any diplomas. But just put on your resume, right? You already graduated. Say, no, I need a diploma. I need something so when people come to the house, it's something on the wall to validate that I graduated from there, right? His point is just saying you're going to go or clear the people out is not enough. We need you to bring this pillar with us. Don't leave the pillar here. Come with us, because how else, in his explanation is amazing. How else will other people know that we are your people unless your presence is with us, right? Not how will we survive, which will be selfish. How will we become a great nation, which will be selfish. How will people give you the proper credit if you don't come with us? That's what he's asking, right? And then what does God say in verse 17?
I also do this thing that you have spoken, Lord, you have found grace in my sight, and I know Move by name.
Okay, so now the respect level is increasing, right? The same situation as God and Abraham. Is it for God's benefit? No, God knows all things. It's for the individuals in the story's benefit, right? Moses has to become the type of leader where he would give himself for the people, right? It's going to take time to get there. Remember, Moses was a murderer. So Moses didn't handle conflict well, because before, when he seen conflict, he pull a sword out and just start chopping heads off. God is having him on a growth process. Put down that sword. That was 40 years ago. Be a leader where you have to plead for the people on their behalf to me. Convince me that they're worth it, right? It's like a new lawyer, right? All that schooling. You got to go against a hard judge. Convince me your client is innocent. Convince me. You better use some technical references, something, character building. You got to pull witnesses that can vouch for that person's character, because I'm about to sentence. Convince me why I should let them live or get them off the hook, right? Moses has to be their lawyer. So when we get to Jesus Christ, right? And he is saying that there is no mediator anymore between man and God. There's no Moses. Moses under me. I do the convincing. Speak to God directly, because me and the Father are one. You can see how upsetting that was to the Pharisees, because their vision is Moses is that person. So you are putting yourself above Moses. Moses intercession for us. Jesus saying, oh, I intercede now, right? It's a big difference. Again, it's way harder than any person converting from any denominationalism in the world. You're talking about something that goes against your fabric of being, right? It's not like you are believing this and coming here. It's the same biblical story. You're just saying, oh, your story isn't finished. You stopping at Moses, but the story goes to Jesus. You thinking, no, the story is done already. We already know this story. It's hard for them to grasp that, which is why one time when Jesus starts talking about eating his flesh and drinking his blood, people said, this is a hard saying, because we know you. We know your mom. We know your dad. You're just a carpenter. Why should we listen to you? And it said that many disciples left because what he was saying was complicated to them, right? They didn't understand. What are you talking about? You look just like us, right? So how are you having authority to do these certain things? So when we look at that, all of that stems from this relationship that Moses is the one who's going on behalf of the people, sticking up for them. Do they deserve it? No, right? Because they made that golden calf. They worship another God. They broke God's heart. But God is showing Moses that what? Once you commit to something, right, now that promise cannot come back void. That's what church members in 2016 have to remember. You commit to something and you break that commitment, it's God who looks bad, not you, because nobody cares about you. That's the thing that people in church have to understand, right? People stop talking about you because they go on and talk about somebody else. Isn't that the case with celebrities? Today we talk about this person. Then tomorrow we say, I'm done talking about this person. Now this thing happened. We talk about this person. That other person, like, I thank God it's Monday, because Sunday I was getting roasted on the internet. People move on quick, right? We just looking for someone to talk about. Right. The point is, once that goes from a spiritual setting, Moses is getting the understanding that what will the people think is, oh, there's no way these people are of God. So when Jesus make a big deal the night before he's betrayed, that look, you all have to love each other. The only way people gonna know that you are really from me when I leave here is by a bond where they can see, I don't see this bond no. When I was here, he was always talking about love. Now I know these people are really of Jesus. So if that bond breaks, Jesus's point is the same thing as Moses' point. How will people know you're really of that group of God's people? Oh, well, we sing, we pray. People say everyone sing, everyone pray. We go to church on Sunday, everyone go to church. We help court, everyone do those things, right? You can go to Red Cross, you can go to YMCA, you can go to disaster relief centers in each town and cities that do those things. What separates you oh, only this love. That's what Jesus is saying. So this concept that we have from Exodus is Moses is telling God, hey, I'm starting to get it. If you're not really with us, then you might as well kill us, right? Because by ourselves, we can't do anything. But today, people don't feel that way. People feel that this morning, their phone woke them up. Because last night, they put an alarm, and they said 7:30, and they closed their eyes and went to unconsciousness. And somehow in unconsciousness, even though there was noise all in the room, but when the alarm noise entered in your brain, it was like, hey, wake up, then you woke yourself up. People feel like I studied hard at school or I learned this trade and then I applied for this job. There was 1,000 people applying to the job, but somehow you were so special on just a printed piece of paper that they called you in and said, hey, Ellis, come in here. And I got this job. Now I have this money. So people need to pull their own self up from their bootstrap. But when we get to Deuteronomy, God says, no. I give wealth. I raise nations up to whatever I see fit, because I'm looking from this level. You're just looking down here in a snapshot of your life. But people don't recognize that. Moses has to recognize it because he's the leader. If the leadership is not in tune with God, the congregation is doomed. If the leadership is not in tune with God to be like, no matter what the congregation does, we're going to stay the course, the congregation is doomed. Nowadays, you got congregations telling leaderships what to do. Just like me and my uncle always talk about sports. Nowadays, you got athletes telling the coach what to do. What? Hey, I'm going in the game. Hey, timeout. Who said call timeout? Me, we need rest. What's rest? Hey, let's run this play. That's the society we live now. Nowadays, kids telling parents, I want to eat pizza. Oh, I cook. I don't want that food. Food nasty. I want pizza. Pizza, man, throwing everything on the floor. Okay, let's get pizza. What? That's the world we live in now, right? It's a balance is off balance. It's off balance where you got those that are lesser telling those that are greater what to do. That was Aaron's problem. You were the leader while Moses was on the mountain, and you let these people say, I don't know what happened to your brother. Make us a calf, a baby one. We like the calf looking one, not a big looking one. And you made that thing because there was a shift in balance. Instead of Aaron saying what? Hey, we're not doing that because God said, don't have any other God go before me. So that concept is what God is trying to get Moses into the frame of thinking. Okay, someone read for us verses 18 through 23. Exodus 33, 18 through 23. Nice and loud.
The Moses said, Then Moses said, now show me your glory. Then the Lord said, I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But, he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where you may stand on a rock, where my glory passes by, and I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I pass by. And I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen.
Okay, Brother AJ, you want to read 34, 5 through 7?
Thirty-four, 5 through 7, you say?
34, 5 through 7.
Now the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. And the Lord passed before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abounding in godliness and truth, giving mercies for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, by no means clearing the guilty, impurity, iniquity of the fathers upon the children and the children's children.
Thanks. Now, question 20. What was the purpose of God's self-manifestation described? What was the purpose? First of all, we know Moses got so excited, which we all would have, right? Moses feel like I changed God's mind. So since God is in the mind changing mode, think of a kid, right? Hey, mom, can I do, I got a good grade. Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Great. I'm glad you said that because can I have something, right? Hoping that same happiness, let's keep this going, right? Like, let's keep this motivation going. Can I get this? Oh, yeah. Ooh, let me ask for something else. Maybe I could get this. So he asked for what? What did he ask from God, seeing that God was in the mood than 2 weeks ago when we read?
To show him.
Hey, now that you in such a good mood, why don't you come down here? This pillar thing is confusing. Plus, it scares people. Why don't you come down and show me your what again?
Lord.
Oh, goodness, right? And what was the response to that? Sure, I'll be down in a minute. Let me just freshen up. What was the response? What was God's response?
He was letting them know that he'll cause all his goodness and pastor come and proclaim my name in your presence. But he also reminds them that I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Let them know that he still is an authority and always.
Right, like we.
Right, exactly.
Right, like.
Go ahead. He says, don't make no mistake, you cannot see me and live.
Yes, like he's establishing, like as a parent to a kid, right? Let's say a kid come home by the miracle of God, the dishes are washed, the garbage is taken out. Oh my goodness, God is true and alive, right? But still, the parent and the child are not peers. No matter how much the child does well, the child is not on the level as the adult, right? The child children think this way. They think that the more they do good, it elevates their status. They get equal with you, right? That's how all of a sudden the kid could be doing all these good things, and all of a sudden they get a slick mouth. You say, oh, time out, we was doing great. And now all of a sudden the mouth got slick because they think, oh, I thought we were now up to the same level. No, it don't work that way, right? So God is saying to Moses, first of all, you did not convince me of anything. Let's establish that because I decide who I have compassion on and who I have mercy. Oh, man, I thought I was doing good here. That's the first thing, right? Don't be mistaken that I am the Lord your God who said what in Exodus 19? I brought you out of Egypt. Me, no one else. You was just sitting here crying, wallowing out, making bricks with no straw. I decided. So he establishes that first, that he would have gracious and compassion on whomever, but you cannot see my face for what? No man shall see and live. Now, when we go to Adam and Eve, this is why when they didn't understand, God said, you will die if you eat that. And Adam told Eve, don't even touch that. Don't even go near that tree, right? Those individuals, Adam and Eve, were made the same way we're made, except our fleshly tint different past that sin. Just like the world is way different because people were designed not to die because God don't die. And you were made in God's image. So that's why once they sinned, God was like, you didn't even know what death was. Think about it. It's like a kid never got burned. You say, don't touch the stove because you'll get burned. What is it? Does burn mean something to the kid? The kid just think, oh, mom said don't touch. But until they feel burn, could they ever truly understand what burn is? No. Nothing in the garden did they ever see death. They never experienced death. So God said, if you do this, you'll die. I don't know, but it must be pretty serious. One thing that died for them immediately that they seen is that God came back. Because remember it said that he would used to walk with Adam in the cool of the dead. When God came back, all of a sudden God said, what? Where are you? Then he gave his decree and God said, what? Now we can't be friends the way we were anymore. Exactly. Hey, why not? Because the relationship started to die. And now you have sin all around you. And physically you're going to die. Spiritually and physically. So I'm going back to where I came from. They didn't understand the gravity of the situation. So post Adam and Eve, nobody could have that type of relationship. Only person that has something almost close to that, the Bible said, was who? Enoch, where it says that he walked with God and he translated. He didn't die, he just went up, right? Then we know, well, who else person didn't walk with God but didn't die physically? Elijah. So you only have just little glimpse. So God's point to Moses is, what you're asking me, as good as you have become since you slayed that person in the Egyptian courtyard 40 years ago, you can't see me, because between me and mankind is a gulf called sin, right? And only just presence can, because if my glory really shone on this world, everything will be destroyed, because I'm the Father of light. James said, and in whom there is no shadow or variation of darkness, pure light. So when we get to that concept, it's a little bursting of Moses' bubble, right? Don't think you convinced me, right? You just did a good job for yourself, but I decide who I have compassion on and who I don't. But I'll come down in this manifestation, right? And this manifestation got to be good for you. So we sing a song, he hideth my soul where? In the cleft of the rock, right? This is where people get to sing, pardon my back, because God said it. God's going to be like, look, the front can't get that. You could see a little back piece. That's all you could get, right? Just the back, pardon my back, right? Get back here, right? So sometimes some people say, pardon my back, then they walk away. What are they telling you? Look, this is done, right? The best attention you're going to get from me, backside. That's all I could give you, right? It's better that way, because if I turn around, I might lay hands on you, right? So it's just, pardon my back, I'm out of here, right? So the best you can do, you're going to have to like this, right? This is the best deal you're going to get, is this back piece. Like, it's like you asked for this, and I appreciate you asking. I said no, but I'm going to give you this. This got to be good enough, because even other people not getting this much, right? So you have to take this deal as this or nothing, right? So when we look at the relationship, making sure that Moses doesn't get what? A big ego, right? That he doesn't start feeling like, oh, I'm bigger than what I am, right? Like you start feeling yourself, you come out the tent, you bust the tent open saying, whoa, I just seen God's face. Everyone would be like, whoa, what did it look like? I can't tell you. You know that's what will happen, right? As soon as two kids, you do something for the other kid, that kid said, look what I got. Nah. Right? What is that tone of voice? Nah, look, what did you get? Is it of any value? No, right? But the way they say it to the other kid started crying. Hey, no fear. So now God have to establish that, yes, you close relationship, but not that close. Right? Only one coming in the future will have the relationship that you looking for. And that's who? Jesus Christ, right? So that's what he's establishing here, is the glory side you can't see. The station is the best you're going to get it, right? And that have to be really the best deal that's going to happen until Jesus comes, right? And that's why when they said Emmanuel means God with us, that's a big deal, right? God actually came here. He haven't been here a time since Adam and Eve, but he came back. That's why those kings came to that manger, was like, we looking for the Christ, because we looked up in the sky and the angels were singing. Today is a big deal. It's not like any other day, because God finally came back. So what Moses is looking for, sadly, is thousands of years too soon, right? It's just too soon for what he's actually asking for. Okay, let's look at 21. What would be the significance of the second tables of stone, considering the circumstances? Let's look at chapter 34. Chapter 34, someone read for us verses 1 through 4. Chapter 34, 1 through 4. What does that say?
And the Lord said to Moses, cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I will write on these tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you wrote. Reminded them. So be ready in the morning and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. And no man shall come up with you, and let no man be seen throughout all the mountain. Let neither flocks nor herds feed before that mountain. So he cut 2 tablets of stone like the first one. Then Moses rose early in the morning, went up to Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him. And he took his tablets, and he took in his hand the 2 tablets of stone.
Okay, so Moses comes down from the mountain, ago. He sees them partying. They're worshiping a golden calf. Aaron said the calf just ran out of the fire. I didn't do anything. Moses got so upset. What did he do with the tablets? He broke them, right? He threw them, right? Now, who wrote on the tablets? Did God tell Moses and Moses write, or did God write? It said God wrote with his own finger. So probably wasn't a good idea to break them tablets, right? Like he could have put the tablets down and picked up a rock, but he broke actually the tablet, right? You ever bought something and you throw the manual away by mistake in the box? And now I change it. Where's the manual? You start looking at the manual. Where's the manual? Yeah, the manual. We need the manual. I threw it away. Now, how are we supposed to work this thing, right? The laws were on the tablet. The tablet is gone. So God says, because I need to replace the one that you broke. Nobody told you to go down from this and get angry and break them tablets. You broke the tablet, so I have to rewrite on them and establish the commandments again. So the next day, Moses rose early, went up there, and he took the 2 tablets, right? So Moses had to be able to, hey, wake up. The 2 tablets is outside of your tent, already handwritten in a nice bow. You go make new tablets, he said. Then you come up here, because it's probably going to be difficult, and then I'll give the commandments again, right? So the question is, what would the significance be of the second stone, considering the circumstance, right? What would the second set of tablets represent, considering that the first were broken because of pure disobedience to the very first commandment, right? God allowing Moses to come back up to get the tablets again, what would that mean?
It's kind of like the Israelites, right? So look at they've broken the law many times. They've committed sin against God many times, and God has given them a second chance. So I look at that as, okay, God has given Moses a second chance as well to come up. He's going to rewrite the tablet. He didn't have to. He's going to rewrite the tablet. So I look at it almost synonymous with, God forgiving the Israelites for the sins committed against them, and then allowing a second chance.
Good. Yeah, makes sense. Anybody else?
We've shown his compassion.
Compassion.
True compassion. And how gracious he is towards them, no matter what.
To even allow them to get the laws again, right? To even say, okay, I'll do it one more time. Go ahead.
I would just show his authority. He's God. He wants them to get the law. So whether they like it or not, they're going to get the law.
Right. Hey, don't think because you broke the rules, literally, that you'd be like, yes. Because I didn't like that thing about the not stealing or killing, because that was broke. I could say, oh, I forgot. And Moses broke it, so I couldn't reread it. I gotta get these rules, because these people 2 minutes gonna break these rules and say, I never got them, right? Which is why in Romans, the 1st chapter, God said humanity is without excuse, because you should be able to go outside and see a God exists. Right? Because you should be able to see, hey, how all of a sudden, no matter what, that tree know to start making leaves again. Because the tree was dead. Every day I seen the tree for 3 months, didn't have not one leaf on it. All of a sudden, leaves grow and rabbits start coming out. How do they know how to do that? Right? The God is saying in Romans, you should be able to recognize that something has to be maintaining order. You may not understand what that something is, but look outside. Look outside. I was reading something yesterday. I was talking about all the things that your body does, how every so many days your skin literally replaces itself. You're thinking, like, what in the world? Like, there's so many things that your body does, like how important your eyelashes are, that you don't even recognize how much dirt your eyelashes trap all day long from getting into your eye. Little tiny things like that. How is it possible, right? So God is saying, from an authority standpoint, I have to make sure that these people are without excuse. Any parent in the room should understand that, because you know how slick kids are. They're going to say, you didn't say it. Hey, why did you do? Oh, you didn't say it. Oh, why did you? Oh, nobody told me. Right? I didn't know. Right? Kids will come up with excuses all the time, Sister Karen.
But also, that law is still in effect up until today. So God knew the ulterior purpose of it. That is not just for now. It's going to be forevermore.
Yeah, that the
rules, I mean? So
yeah.
It's not, so I think that's the whole significance of that was like, this is bigger than you right now. You know what I mean? This is going to dictate your entire life, your generations to come, going forward, whatever, until forevermore.
Right.
So they didn't understand it at that point. They probably thought it was just some laws that somebody trying to dictate to them right now.
Yep.
But it trickled down into even today, to us today.
Because think about Jesus, right? It said that Jesus said he came to fulfill the law, right? He came to explain. So he said, hey, remember when Moses said, don't kill? I'm telling you, don't hate, because hate will lead to killing. So this got to stand the test of time, right? We got to get past just you. So that's the concept we have. David, yes, sir?
I actually was thinking exactly like Sister Karen, but also alongside of the Israelites, because our perspective when we look at the Old Testament is always the idea of ruthless, vengeful God, and this is like exemplified by so much of the chapters we've seen where God literally says kill everybody. One of the things that is kind of motivated a lot of the thinking is once I have gone so far away from God, there's no way I can return to it. And that's one of the things that I was thinking was there's always a way. Because God is the authority. It's kind of like the same idea when you have this big fight with your parents. You're outside of your parents' house and you think, you know, I've gone so far into the world. I've gone so down in the world. I'm like a prodigal son. But, you know, it's not up to you to say if your parents will take you in. But this God does have authority, and in this case, He does allow, in this case,
yeah, so that's a good point. That's this, when we get to this 22 that we'll close with, that's the concept, right? Is that no matter what you do, God's point to Moses is, I'm the one, the deciding factor for compassion, right? So when we get into the new covenant, Jesus' blood on the cross, right? God is saying what? Don't judge people. Just love them, because vengeance is mine, right? I decide, right? And as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have the opportunity to do right. That's how the world is single day, no matter how bad your yesterday is, right? That today, if you open your eyes today, you have a chance. You may not live the day out, right? There's no guarantee, but you have a chance to do right in the moment in which you live in. That's the world that we live in. And when we look at this comparison in 22, I'm glad that they put this in here, this summarize the negative and then the positive aspects, because there's one side of doing a Bible study we don't like to tell people because we think it'll scare them away. One of the main things that you're going to give up in order to be a real Christian is your free will to do whatever you want. Well, I don't want to live like that. Well, there are rules, right? In order for you to be a good child, a good son or daughter, you got to give up that free will of wanting to do what you want, right? When someone else tell you, you got to wash the dishes in order to lay your head on this pillow. That's the deal. I just want to lay my head on the pillow. I understand, but in order to get to the pillow, the dish have to be washed. Right? In order to get a diploma, you got to pass classes. Well, I just want a diploma. Okay, all right. But you got to pass some classes too. There are always causes and effect. Everything in life take work. Oh, I want a beach body. Well, you got to go to the gym. Well, I don't want to go to the gym. I want to eat whatever I want. All right. You can go to the beach. But if you're saying that you're looking for this beach body, whatever that means in your mind, you're going to have to go to the gym. This is just real life, right? This is how life operates. God is saying, I'm the same way. In order for you to be my people, because remember, he's asking him for his presence to go with them. In order for my presence to go, y'all have to stop doing things that you think is right and do the things that I'm telling you is right, right? So that some people look at as a negative. Some people hear that and say, oh, I don't like this, which is why Corinthians say the message of the cross to some people is foolishness. They hear about Jesus, say that's a dumb story. But to other people is power, right? Because you can say, hey, I like that story and I'm a sinner, I want to be better. Or you say, no, nobody going to tell me how to live. That's the crossroads that each person is in. So to some people, it may have been a negative. Oh, man, we got to get these commandments again. To other people, it could have been like, we messed up. We need them commandments. Because look how upset God got. He almost left us. So that is the response. That's why Jesus said when he came, He'll divide houses. Some people will follow, some people won't. Spouses, mothers, daughters, son-in-laws, because some people are going to hear the exact same Bible verse and bring tears to eyes or make people upset and they storm out the room. Same words. Same words. So God is saying you have a choice. Because remember when he gave the first set of commandments in Exodus, he asked them, and they were the ones that were like, no, we're going to do it. We promise we're going to do this thing. So he's reestablishing the covenant to say, remember what I said. If you want to be my people and I be your God, you have to listen. Now, sometimes that listening may infringe upon your money, your time, and what you deem as fun. But I can promise you that the overall arc of your life, listening to me will be the better good, and you'll be with me for eternity. Now, that's the deal, right? God laid that deal out every day humanity wake up. Some people say that's a great deal. Matter of fact, that's the best deal out. Some people say that's a stupid deal. I'm going to do whatever I want and live however I feel. God said it's up to you. I'm not making anybody, because I'm telling you, I'm not going with you, right? He didn't make them. He didn't say, everybody out the tent, come on, let's go, and drag them. God said, he's letting them decide what's best for their own life. You want to give your free will to me or hold on to it for yourself? And that's where we at. All right, we're out of time. Let's close there. We'll end in a word of prayer, and then we'll transition over to worship. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful and blessed day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to study a portion of your word this morning. We're thankful that we serve a true and a living God that is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Thank you for writing these things down for us for our learning so that we would not forget. We ask that you be with those that are traveling here to worship. And as we transition from Bible study to worship, we ask that our worship service be presented to you in spirit and in truth, and all things be done according to your will. We're thankful, dear God, for Jesus, for without him, none of this would be possible. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Thank you for all of our Bible readers and those who had comments. If you had grabbed a book or a Bible, if you would